We are destined to get ashore by Melessa L. Avery. The narratives of our ancestors float like clouds, roaming for a place to belong. The horrors roll in our heads like thunder rolls across the sky. We fight to keep the heat below and far away from our throats for fear of its explosive reply, recourse, regrowth. We switch our thoughts to survive and salvage our sanity, but its constant reminders keep us in a domestic emotional war. We want to scream, we want to cry, we want to fight, we want revenge. We want to make you feel the anger that won't allow us peace, when peace is the only antidote for our tattered souls. It consumes our extra mental space and forces visions of us doing horrible things to people who don't deserve our payback because they are only offspring. Yes, they know the evil, but suppresses it with ignorance and forgetfulness because the reality of it is too monstrous to breathe in, to take notice of, to accept, apologize for, and far too embarrassing to attempt to repair with the reparation. And even more damning, to teach its historical aspects to the younger generation. Doing that would mean that they are from that fabric and no one, absolutely no one, wants to claim that itchy wool feeling as their own. But we must keep it here because intelligence and hate can't occupy the same camp. Yet evil and ignorance make good bedfellows and can harmonize with little practice and no effort. But we are destined to get ashore. Yet every time we hear one more story, every time we see one more picture, smell one more fire, every time you change the narrative in a history book to cover your shame, the flood of emotions sweep over us, and we get drowned in a tidal wave of rage that immerses us so far below the line of okay that we go blind. But we are destined to get ashore. Because the fight was built into us when our skin burned hanging from hickory trees in the backwoods of Georgia, while grinning teeth laughed instead of grimacing, and conversations were about dinner and not about change, where our hangings were the best entertainment that life had to offer at the time. But we are destined to get ashore. Because our ancestors refused to play dead, because when they stood in the fire, they pledged to only burn on the outside, but to use the evil as gas and create a combustible movement that birthed the likes of Harriet, Frederick, Nat, Martin, James, and Malcolm, in which their blood, sweat, and tears illuminates a path for us to follow, a path that leads us to become better, stronger, smarter, fiercer, and with a little attention moves us to become beacons of strength, torches of hope, rings of change, and walking medals of honor. Yes, we are destined to get ashore. Because when we close our eyes, you close more doors and plan more evil. Your attempts to continue to rob us of our votes, our freedom, our safety, our family, and our dignity is a sign that we must not sleep, because the boogeyman wears a single-breasted suit, and even though he no longer meets in the woods, he is the new age monster chasing us in our dreams. But we are destined to get ashore. Have you ever had the displeasure of living in a nightmare? Where driving your car, going to the store, getting an education, or even buying a house are seen as acts of war because you see us as enemy, not as friend, as stranger and not as neighbor. And no matter how hard we work to prove ourselves, your response is always the same: to obnubilate our existence and our audacity to hope. But we are destined to get ashore. There's a fight in us you have only gleaned. Martin talked about it in I Have a Dream. Guthrie sang about it in This Land. And James wrote about it in The Devil Finds Work. It's built on what's right and not what's wrong about this place you call America. It hides in bushes, under rocks, on roofs, and in trees, and it will rise like a phoenix when our pleas are crushed after 9 minutes and 29 seconds under your knees. No longer will we capitulate to the ignorance that brought us here. Our ancestors have illuminated the path, and we know that we are destined to get ashore, and we are on our